All right, today we're talking about two Michigan breweries. One's known for the Big Red Cock, and the other, the Bean Flicker.
Wait, don't turn the channel. You've tuned into High Gravity.
The show where we talk about beer, brewing, and bullshit.
Where the only thing we take seriously is the next round.
So grab a glass.
Fill it with something cold.
And enjoy the show.
All right. And so today, to segue off of that wonderful intro, thank you, Daryl.
I just like saying Big Red Cock.
Speaking of the Big Red Cock.
Things Daryl doesn't have.
Well, I mean, it probably shouldn't be red.
Yeah, probably not, no.
I don't know. When I was in Italy once, I seen a big black cock.
We're not going to talk about that story today.
We're not twins. And we're not twins anymore.
So have you guys ever had beer before? Oh, boy.
Beer, yeah. Stuff comes in a blue can with white lettering, right?
Ah, yes.
So what do we have today?
Well, we have the...
Oh, hold on. We have to welcome back our guests first.
Well, oh yes, I forgot.
Yeah.
You cut that part. Yeah, we're back with the twins again here. You know, from Meta Brew Society. They're bringing it to us here,
We
bringing
got
us
lucky.
the light.
It's Brew and American here, and we're the famous Web3 twins.
And now that
if
we
you want
know-
to join Twitter.
Now that we know what time they start on Sunday and open up, we're here every day.
No, we can't get rid of them.
And
They'll be standing outside the window with a sign that says, "We love beer."
They made a big mistake by inviting us.
to see these twins, you don't have to go to that hub website either.
You still
Jesus,
can.
I'm going to circle back
We're
to
starting off
beer
pretty bad already. All right.
once again. So
We checked that explicit box like the second
one
episode.
of the best breweries in the state, Brewery Vivant, famous for their red farmhouse ale, Big Red Cock, as Daryl mentioned.
Big Red Cock.
They're all children anymore.
Cock. And it's spelled C-O-Q, by the way, you sick perverts.
So is that Coke?
But they're Coco Bean, you know. Anyway, their logo is a big rooster, you know. So like if you haven't gotten the joke yet, but we're starting off with a Wizard Burial Ground, which the artwork looks super dope. But it's got like a, wizard with Stonehenge looking thing. We'll post a picture. But it is a bourbon barrel aged quad. So 10.8% alcohol. This is a 2021 release. Pretty exciting, and it comes in a can, which is rare for the show. So let's
True story.
let's see if we can get a
So
little
silence, please.
A
We
little
need like a
snap here.
drum roll.
Very
Beautiful.
Oh, that's nice. We like that.
So their brewery, if you haven't been there, is beautiful. It's a church.
Oh, nice.
Really nice when you go inside.
So when we were in Scotland, we were on a bus, and we got a little bit of a tour at one point. And I don't remember when it happened, but basically all the churches were turned into like, I'm going to pass you that, please, sir. Basically all the churches over there were turned into like bars and pubs and stuff.
So we're passing around the can here, getting everyone a pour. And there's a little info dump on the back that we'll go over after we get our tasting notes here.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, it smells good, too. I like these beers. These smell great.
It's got that quad smell that
Yep.
you're used to.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
This might be my first quad.
Yeah?
I've never even heard of a quad.
Johnny's a big fan of the doubles, triples, and quads, so it's exciting to get one on
triples
here
are my
for him.
favorite. Belgians and Belgian triples are my absolute favorite.
I've had a triple. I've never had a quad.
It's one better.
It's almost got a little like pineapple kind to the
Little bit,
aroma.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of a honey, like it had some honey.
I could see
notes
that.
in it.
Kind of like a thicker, syrupy kind of smell.
Wow, this is amazing beer we've been trying here.
It's the great thing about the podcast is
lot of
everything we've had's
pineapple
been
taste.
good.
We'll be back next Sunday.
Yeah, it's surprisingly so. Like
I taste a lot of pineapple in there.
right, and I'm not like I've never had a
Wow,
beer
yeah.
that's like pineapple in a
Like if
beer
you
that's
aerate it a
enjoyable.
little bit, it's really.
And let's read here. Let's see what they have to say about it. The Brew Vivant BBA Quad. Brewed once a year, this special quadruple is aged in bourbon barrels. The alcohol content of the quad pulls the bourbon, vanilla, and charred oak character out of the barrel and melds it all together with the caramel richness already present in the ale. We've been wood aging beers since we opened in 2010. The 2021 vintage of Wizard Burial Ground is yet another stellar version of the legendary beer. And even if suggested pairings for those that managed to have a 2021 Wizard Burial Ground laying around, this beer is to be shared, to truly indulge, enjoy with blue cheese, stuffed dates wrapped in bacon with balsamic glaze. You know, I forgot to bring the fucking dates with blue cheese and bacon.
You say dates though, but really, I mean, the pineapple,
I can't
and
get
then you
one
got
of
a little bit of a date flavor to it.
I think that pairing would be pretty good.
I think the dates is
no one
what
got
gives
that.
you the
I'm okay
pineapple flavor.
Yeah, with blue cheese, and that'd be
I'm
interesting.
good. That shit belongs in that
Like,
can. But
I can smell the barrel age in it, but the citrus notes, that pineapple comes out so strong, I don't taste so much of it.
Yeah, it's bizarre. They don't mention any of that at all.
and it's there. No, like it makes fun of me. I don't care. The gargle. Put a little in, gargle it.
It's all gargle at
Aerates
once.
it, and it hits your tongue all at
It's
one
all
time.
gargle at once.
I get way more pineapple when
I get lots of pineapple up front. That's
do
just
that.
that dried fruit.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Citrus notes
you
forever.
really get that pineapple.
In the back of your,
That's a good
in the
way
back
of
of your
drinking it.
mouth, you get to.
I like gargle drinking.
Great, now everyone's going to be gargling beer.
Oh, you know, it's down in the throat, though. It's not just in the mouth. It's down the throat.
Come on, Daryl, try it. Everyone's done it. You do it too. Come
Well,
on.
there's different.
Jam it
circle
down
here.
your
It's your
throat,
turn.
Daryl.
right,
Jam
fine,
it
let's
down the throat, buddy.
You know, when you start off talking about Big Red Cock and then telling Daryl to ram it down his throat, like. It's true, men really never grow up. Our toys just get more expensive.
Yeah. And then we're allowed to drink, and it just goes right out the window.
You know, so to bring it back to beer, I as it warms a little bit, I do get more of the kind of like caramelly malty characteristics they mention on the can, but they're very subtle. Like for some reason, I'm just hung up on pineapple, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's because it's forward, that's why.
Yeah, and it's
Right up
not
front.
like sharp, like, you know, bitey pineapple like you expect. It's very subtle, like almost like that
Like it's
dried
flavored
pineapple
with-
Yeah,
type
it's definitely
flavor.
not drinking like a pineapple.
Right, yeah, it's not like drinking pineapple juice.
I wouldn't say watered down pineapple flavor, but it definitely doesn't have that acid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's
It's like
palates
you
are
walked by a
different.
pineapple field
yeah.
and smelled pineapples.
And when I first drank it, I got the caramely honey taste to it.
I said I get a little bit of the vanilla in it for sure.
I get more of that, like, as it kind of warms and sits on the palate. Oh yeah, honey for sure.
And where did Derek go?
But is there
After
honey in
we're
there?
talking about jamming
Is there
down the
honey
throat.
in there, or is it the caramel that we're tasting?
I think it's more the caramel flavors. 'cause-
Yeah.
Caramel.
So
sorry.
that'll be from the malt.
Oh no,
of
no,
it.
both are correct.
Caramel.
That's good though. I like it.
There's a lot of flavor in it, too.
So now that you
Even
can
though it's
breathe
up
again,
front.
Daryl, how was it?
It's good. I mean,
Did you
not
get the
jammed down
pineapple?
throat, but
Did you get the pineapple?
I taste a lot of pineapple.
I will say it does not drink like a nearly 11% beer.
No, it does not. No, I would drink a lot of
This
it.
is good.
No, it'd be very dangerous to.
Is there more in there?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, there's.
Can't wait for the star version.
Okay. I don't want to kill it.
No, I mean, it's only a pint. You know.
I don't. Who wants more? I don't want to.
No,
I feel bad killing stuff.
No, you're
I took
Not
a big
that
pour
one.
though.
you're definitely gonna hack more than we can. So go ahead.
Yeah,
and I
I've
took a
had
big
this
pour
beer
the first
before,
time.
so I don't need as
You
much of a
mentioned
sample.
that it's once a year, limited edition.
Yes.
It shows it comes out in November.
So the 2023 version is probably out now. I don't imagine it's distributed very far. It's probably
Out
one of those
now,
things
or
you
is
get.
it aged now?
Great question.
You know, if it's finished, maybe they're gonna sell it next year.
Well, it says released once a year in November. So every year in November they release it.
It also says 1% of sales benefit local charities.
Nice.
Brewery Vermont sells a lot of beer. In the years that I've been going there, it's been remarkable to see how they've grown and see the kind of the interesting collaborations they do. I went there one weekend. We were out there. I think it was CBS weekend actually when they brought back CBS, and I went out there to pick it up at Founders because this was before Founders Detroit was a thing, and now it's not a thing, I guess. But we went to Vivant, and they had. They called it their like 420 specials, like the 420 weekend, I guess. So, you know, the internet weed number. And they had collaborations with the brewery, you know, out of New York. And they had a bunch of interesting like sour ales and things. They had a durian beer And if you know what durian fruit is, supposedly it's really fucking stinky. It's supposed to smell really bad, but
Apparently
tastes really good.
Great. Yeah, I've seen videos.
never heard of durian.
I'm thinking jackfruit. Never mind.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's just
They're
big.
weird.
It's a big spiny fruit. It's hard to describe what it looks like, but you cut it open and it's
You
got
use a
these-
machete to cut
Yeah.
it open. It's pretty cool.
The inside actually kind of looks like a pineapple a little bit, like the color and the texture.
What's the flavor of that?
It's hard to describe. Like the flavor is very.
Did you have some?
Oh yeah, no, I've had durian. Like it's good. It smells. I don't think it smells as bad as people say it does. But I kind of like funky smells because I like I like sour beers. You know, they don't like me.
I love that we all laughed at that.
You know, it's like I'm one of those people that driving down the road and is like, oh, is that a skunk or some really good weed? You kind of like it's like I kind of like it. You
I
know.
had that at work one day, but it was more or less. He opened the bag of weed, or was that a skunk behind the building?
But yeah,
he
so
opened the bag of weed.
They had a lot of
It was a
interesting
skunk.
beers.
No, he opened a bag of weed in the back room.
If you're at work, it's a skunk behind the building.
Yeah, that's
That
right.
business closed. We can talk about it now.
You know, my boss caught a couple
I
of.
used to deal out of the back room.
I caught a couple of teenagers smoking a joint out behind work, and 15 minutes later, my boss caught me and a couple teenagers smoking a joint behind work. Yeah, it was weird.
Did he
Couple
join
minutes
you?
later,
Though?
I seen a.
He joined me. But yeah, anyway,
Wow.
so that weekend at Vivant, they had all these interesting beers. They had an apricot sour that was it, and this is how I describe it. It tastes like stomach acid in the best way possible, if you can imagine.
No, there's
Right?
nothing
Exactly.
good about that. No.
Exactly.
I've never had stomach acid either.
If you've thrown up before,
That's something.
Yes, I have.
so it tastes like that.
Plenty of times.
Yeah.
This episode brought to you by
can that-
Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah,
How can that not taste good?
but it was really weird.
I might be
because-
throwing up tonight.
Yeah. But yeah, they do really interesting beers. So like anytime you get out to the west side of the state, if you have a chance to go to Brewery Vivant, I very much recommend it. The brewery's beautiful. The beer's fantastic. Belgian theming.
And isn't brewery-
The food's
It's
incredible.
unique and
Isn't
it's
Brewery
good.
Vivant is in a church too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's either a church or is it an old funeral home?
It's a church.
No, it's
Is it church?
Yeah.
Does this mean this gets me in without having to pay a cover charge?
I'm pretty sure they're heathenistic.
You get in with any without any cover charge
Excellent.
with anywhere, right?
But yeah, their food is really good. And if you don't like their food, they're next door to a sushi place called Maru, which I will also recommend. They actually have really good sushi.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a little bakery down the street. My wife always says, well, it's like, I'll take you to the brewery, but we got to go to the bakery and spend like $50 on macaroons.
So, this big red cock beer is great, but let's try the bean one.
Oh, bean flicker.
You got to flick the bean first, or how does this work?
Well, if you're not in
That
big
makes
red
sense.
cocks, here comes the bean
Yeah.
flicker.
So we
If you
mentioned
flip
that
the bean,
that's
it will be a big red cock.
a famous beer from Oddside Ales named Bean Flicker.
Oddside's got some good stuff.
We're not
It's some weird shit.
We're not drinking that today,
But my
so it's
favorite is
irrelevant to bring it up.
The
But
Mayan mocha with habanero, just the original one.
Oh.
That coffee espresso habanero taste to it.
Is this the one?
no, this is actually the next one we're trying here is the bourbon barrel aged Imperial Maya Mocha Stout. So it's not the
It's not the Mayan mocha. This
okay.
is the bourbon barrel aged one.
yeah.
The barrel aged.
I'm not generally a spicy beer fan, so I'm looking forward to,
I'm not either.
to
and I
trying
was-
this.
The gentleman that provided this one, I was talking to him about this earlier this week, and I'm excited and nervous because my gut doesn't like spicy stuff. But
This one's not
I'm
spicy.
excited.
Have you had? Yeah, it is habanero. Have you
Yeah.
had
Not
Mayan
sure if
mocha?
I'm ready
Oh, it
for
is.
this. I'm
Have you
gonna
had
have
a
to.
Mayan mocha before?
Yeah, wait, I've had this a bunch of
The
times.
espresso habanero. This is one of my favorite.
Pause for the opening.
I'm gonna have to chug my big red cock first. Before
We had Wizard Burial Ground, damn it.
Put it in your mouth and swallow.
Don't choke.
Jesus, this is...
We're family oriented.
You know, you guys...
Fuck, we are.
Y'all gave me a hard time about talking about eating ass once, and the last two episodes have just been fucking innuendos.
Because that's when
fuck
we
it.
were trying to be like
That was
available
last week.
to
We
all
forgot about
markets.
that.
You were trying to be.
Yeah. We made it one episode before we had to check the explicit box.
Yeah, that's Darrow's fault.
No, it's you.
All right,
Oh no, he was fuckity fuck.
Fucking yes. All right.
I have since
Sorry,
been
I'm
good.
done.
All right, go ahead.
All right, let's give this a pop here.
You know, I'm never opening a beer again. The one time I open a beer, it sounds like shit.
Daryl owns a brewery. Doesn't know how to open beers.
He kegs everything, so there's no opening.
To be fair, I keg everything too. I fucking hate bottling.
Oh, yeah, I agree on that.
I went to gross bottles.
Oh, the smell.
Those are a little bit easier,
good.
but you still
love
got to
them.
clean the bottles, though, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
it's not that bad though, and they're bigger, so you have to clean less of them per
it's
bag.
bad when you give them out to people and they don't clean them.
You guys should have an
Yeah,
episode with gross bottles and get that little pop.
I do love that.
Oh, I can do that.
That would be a great like in between beer that we could be drinking because I love Grolsch. Like Grolsch,
I do like
Carlsberg, anything in a green bottle.
It's good when it's fresh.
Well, yeah,
If you get one that's been on the shelf a while, it's
it's a pilsner.
It's the skunk.
But see, I like a little bit of
I
skunk
have
in
a
my
homebrew
pilsners.
pilsner that I haven't brought that one yet. Oh, excuse me.
You okay there?
You are excused.
The smell on this has like that like cinnamon cookie
It's-
smell.
yeah.
A little more head to this.
I would almost
Like gingerbread cookies.
I was thinking like an oatmeal cookie almost.
You know, I did brew a homebrew. I mean, I can't remember the name of the
Like there's like a spicy pepper at the end of it.
we had a ton of different peppers in it and a ton of different cinnamon. And it was pretty decent.
Oh wow,
Oh, there's.
What's AI say about this?
that's
Oh
good.
my
What's
god.
AI say about this, Daryl?
I don't know, man.
Here, this is
It is like an oatmeal raisin cookie, like
and it's straight up that like coffee mocha.
yeah, like ginger snap and oatmeal
Yeah.
raisin like had a baby.
Oatmeal comes a little bit later,
Yeah, that's.
but it does. If it's
But no,
Well,
I
it's
get
had
no
a little bit to
spice.
drink.
I was gonna say the habanero doesn't pull out in this.
No, I
In the
get no
actual-
spice whatsoever.
In the actual Mayan mocha, it pulls out a lot. You
I know,
can
but
I think they lose
you
a
can
lot of
feel
it
it
with
in
the
your
barrel.
throat, though. The habanero.
You feel it in your throat?
I do. I feel it deep.
Don't
in my
lie, you're
throat.
not making it past the gums.
Welcome to the innuendo show.
I think I've got a problem with spicy though. Like I eat way too much spicy stuff, so I get no tingle from this whatsoever.
You meant the spider tingle, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. No spice whatsoever on this. I don't even taste the habanero pepper.
It's there, but there's no burn from it. Like it's the pepper's definitely in,
And that's
in the
probably
body
good
of
that
it.
you don't feel the burn.
Yeah. You don't have to go to the clinic afterwards.
I think the local apple
just got
orchard
that.
makes a cider that has habanero, and that you can actually taste
the,
the habanero.
What's it
You can actually taste the
It's not
pepper.
the El Chapo.
Yes, El Chavo.
The Blake's.
Is it El Chavo?
Yeah, yep.
And you could definitely feel the spice.
So we were.
Yeah, that was one of the first spicy drinks I ever tried, and like it hits you right in the back of the throat with that kind of like choking heat. Where it's like, like I don't want to drink more.
You like it?
I did too, and that was my first spicy beer. And
choking.
I was thinking, how bad could a cider be? And that was pretty spicy.
Yeah, I hate that.
When
drink.
they were first
do.
commercially available, there was a local party store, and we'll say my buddy and I were having a cookout. We were brewing, and we went up there to get some refreshments. Well, the first one was Flannel Mouth.
That's
Which
a good
is
beer.
phenomenal.
That's a good cider, yeah.
Now, we weren't thinking. We just grabbed 2 of these off the shelf. We cashed out, and we went home, and we started brewing. So we're drinking it. My buddy goes, "This is burning really bad." I'm like, it's fucking Flannel Mouth. It's a hard cider. Why is it burning? Then we realized it was the habanero cider. And what they did is they got a variety pack and they just stacked them in one line. So we grabbed 2, not looking or thinking, and the whole big one was a habanero.
Oh yeah, it just doesn't taste good. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Blake cider, kind of in general. Like a lot of their stuff is just too sweet.
It's
I can
gotten a
understand.
lot better the last few
Ciders
years.
are ciders, though.
I think it's
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
there's a
I like that.
whole
Sure about
game.
that.
Really?
yeah. This,
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I am an advocate for like really like quality cider, like Tandem cider. I will say it a million times. Just outside of Traverse City, best cider you're ever gonna have.
And they're probably small, I bet.
oh,
And I'd
tiny.
love if they send us some to try. 'Cause
It makes sense. Because
I'm a member of their bottle club. Maybe we'll have a cider episode one time. But like the favorite fact I learned about them is like, you know, unlike Blake's where they back sweeten their stuff and they add sugars and things, Tandem, when they ferment their ciders, they stall the fermentation process and then use a wine centrifuge to spin out the living yeast. So
And that is not easy to stall at all.
No, because you have to. Well, that's where the centrifuge comes in, and I didn't even know that
pull
was
them
a
out.
thing. And
never
so
even heard of
they
this
stop
technique.
the fermentation at the gravity they want, so it has only residual natural apple sugars.
Wow.
So when you drink it, it tastes like cider, not like sugar or
Right.
honey
Oh,
or
that
whatever you
sounds-
add.
I got to
Yeah,
try this
we'll
stuff
have
because
to
that
do
sounds
that.
phenomenal.
I'm in.
Their cider's, even my wife likes their cider, and she's not really a drinker.
Yeah.
So they've got everything from sweet to dry, and I'm a dry guy. I like my ciders, my wines, dry as the fucking desert.
That's interesting. When I brew, I use this. It's called Tilt, and it gives you the reading the entire time of the fermentation, the temp, and the specific gravity. And I use it just for the fun of it. I don't even really care because it is what it is after 5 days.
Right.
But
It is nice to know.
I don't do nothing like a cider where you have to, or wine, like you have to stop the fermentation.
Yeah, I've never done that with my
I don't worry
ciders
about it.
either.
It's
I just
interesting
let it
because I
go.
sit on there on my couch and I watch my phone.
See, a lot of times with cider, I'll cheat a little bit, like, because when you pitch the yeast, like, there's enough sugar in the cider usually to get you about 5%, but it's going to eat
Mine's a lot higher
everything.
than that.
And when I don't add any extra sugars or honey or any fermentables. I
don't
just use
either.
straight cider. But when it's done, it ferments out all the flavor, and so I'll take a couple of those cans of frozen cider concentrate,
back in, back sweet.
throw them right in my keg,
Yeah.
so that way it's still sweetened with actual cider.
Yeah.
But like usually only 1 or 2 cans for like a 5-gallon batch because I still want it dry, but I want that hint of apple flavor.
I made one and it didn't carbonate as much as I hoped. So I got a bad thing. I like using a lot of like the champagne yeast because I want the higher alcohol. Problem is it eats a lot of those fermentables. So even adding the priming sugar when you're bottling, it doesn't eat a lot of it because at that point it's hit the alcohol tolerance. And it just it won't. So you'll
That's why
get like
I
a
love
little
kegging.
hit.
Oh, it's not enough carb. I'm just gonna turn up my CO2 a little bit
And
more.
I'm still thinking about that with that braggot because I have so much of it. And
I've got
I'm
kegs.
so disappointed
I've
it
got
didn't bottle.
I've got a bottling gun.
The bottling gun
That little
is-
Blickman
yeah.
bottling gun was one of my best investments.
You like that bottling gun? I used it one
It's-
time. I could not figure it out.
I've got a homemade
it
one my
did-
buddy gave me.
A couple
and I
of
just-
times we
I
messed
won't
with
use
it. Like it took us a second to get the kind of the rhythm down where you
Right.
want to add CO2 and then you want to fill and then you want to just give another psst of CO2 at the end.
I have yours here.
I use a stopper and a plastic racking cane, and I just bleed it off with a thumb until it fills, and then I put a cap on it. And that's easier than I could do with the bottling gun.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably what most people do without a bottling gun. Like the bottling gun was, it was kind of a fun little expenditure. We were spending
and
so
I don't
much
bottle
money.
too much, so it was a little
No.
bit of work.
A lot of that cinnamon in this.
It was a lot of. We would only bottle when we had something like a barrel
cinnamon
age that
takes
we made
over.
or something
Yeah.
that we wanted to save or give
Oddly
out.
dominant.
But the bottles we'd open them a year plus, and they were just perfectly fine. They were still in good shape. But it was a fun
Oh, for
expenditure.
sure. If you bottle from a keg, it's definitely the best way to go.
Yeah, because then you get the right
It's
level of
clean
carbonation
and
every time.
I want to do this. So are you
Priming
guys
sugar
familiar with
sucks.
braggot?
I've never made one, but I am familiar with it.
Essentially, it's a mead and beer hybrid. So I took a Belgian triple base recipe
really
kit. I replaced about a third of the grain and the malt with honey and fermented it. So it's like a 17% beer. And then I go a lot longer in secondary fermentation. But again, the problem is I get that high alcohol, but I don't have enough yeast left to carbonate it. So it's good.
Even if you pitch the sugar, huh?
Yeah, and I did, and it didn't do anything.
Yeah, at that level, you have to have some
lot.
insane yeast to survive 17% alcohol.
Yeah, and I use whatever. Again, it was an extract kit that I modified the recipe for, but it was definitely a spent yeast at that point.
And what's the difference between buying yeast or producing your own yeast?
Is this going back to that
Man.
one?
I'm not going to answer that one.
Y'all are. I think
One requires a medical
That's
prescription
what I
to
get
clear
for asking
up.
a serious question, guys.
I think what he meant was saving your yeast.
Yeah.
Like
So
you can.
He is
okay,
definitely the taster.
I'm
in
just
the
a
brewery.
taster. I'm the R&D, guys. I'm just the R&D.
you can produce your own yeast. You can. Like there's wild yeast in
Harvest.
the air.
Yeah.
But like to
I
do
think he
something
means
like
harvest.
Yes.
Yeah, I
So
think he
that
means
you're gonna get the
That's
yeast
that World
cake.
Farm yeast.
Yeah, why would you
open.
harvest your own yeast
Save money.
first
money,
buying
yeah.
it?
That's the only thing.
So,
Just for
Save
money.
money.
so
There's different
over
taste to
its,
'em, too.
over its
Yeah.
evolution,
yeah.
it's going to develop a certain flavor profile. What it does with the grains that you're using, it's going to kind of develop its own identity. So a lot of places will use their signature
Yeah,
yeast.
like Sierra Nevada, they only use
Bell's
their
does
signature
it.
and
yeast.
They sell it
that
now, too.
yeast makes that taste and that beer. So if you're somebody such as Mr. Darrow here, oops, you might harvest that from the end of a batch, use it the next batch, which is going to make that more of a consistent thing every time you use
More
it.
That's what I was
consistency,
thinking.
for sure.
But you do have to be very careful about it because you have
It's
to
a
wash
living
the
organism.
yeast.
Yeah.
You know,
it is a living organism.
Store
You
it
have
properly.
to-
You have to refrigerate it. Then.
It's a lot of
Yes.
work. It's
Yeah.
a lot of work.
Yeah.
Whereas I
yeast is
predominantly,
expensive, so-
I do a lot of extract brewing. Obviously, I'm not in a commercial setting with anything that I do, so I just use whatever the kit
So
comes with.
without exact pricing, what is buying yeast versus harvesting your own?
Well, it depends on what
Depends
you're
how big the
talking.
batch is.
Dry, if you're doing a smack pack, and they range from like $4 for dry and
So if you want to
$15
avoid
for
any
a smack pack.
contamination, though, or any issues, dry yeast isn't really that expensive. If you're trying to do liquid yeast, it's a lot. It's 3 times at least.
And again,
price
it's a
every
living
time.
organism.
Yeah.
You have to care for it properly, or it will die. It will give you an off flavor. If the temperature's not here, it's going to do this to the beer. If it's too cold, too warm, it's going to have different reactions with the final product. And that's where you get into like the commercial blending process.
And it gets in the air too. So
Yeah.
the more different types of beer you do with different yeast,
Yeah.
you have a tendency to probably screw things up more.
cross contaminate.
It's
So
Rogue.
if you stay with the same yeast for all your beers, you're more likely to.
It's your developed profile. Like Rogue Beard Ale. As far as what I remember of that story, it was one of the brewers, a beard hair fell into it, and it was a yeast that was on that hair that fermented into it.
Wait a second here.
This is a good story. You led this right
Okay,
into a good
that's
story.
serious.
I brewed a beer. It was called 10 Cent IPA, or whatever it was. I can't remember the exact same name. You know why?
You dropped a dime in
Because
it,
this
I
guy
imagine?
threw a dime in the damn beer.
I watched this guy brew beer after beer after beer. And it's just a simple name. Nothing went wrong. Everything was perfect. Everything
I
tastes
go,
perfect.
do you realize if
And
this is the best beer we got, we got to
he-
throw 10 cents in
He
every
went
time?
he went to the bathroom and I went bloop, and I didn't tell him until he emptied it. He found that 10 cent. And he goes, "Are you kidding me?" I was thinking we'd name it 10-cent beer. Not are you
So
kidding
it's
me?
a dime bottle beer? Dime
Dime beer?
bag?
Dime bag.
Dime bag Daryl.
So,
Oh, there's another good
R.I.P.
name.
in peace.
well, cheers to that. As we cheers to this the other day to Dimebag Darrell.
Oh, that's not good.
It was just over 19 years ago that he passed,
Rip.
unfortunately. So, cheers to Dimebag.
Cheers.
Cheers to metal.
The hell did I hit my head on?
When I first initially tasted this bourbon barrel aged
I don't get that
Imperial
habanero.
Mayan mocha, whatever.
Good.
Oh yeah.
I like it. I like it.
I
It's got
tasted
cinnamon.
it.
I like the less heat.
Yeah.
I do.
What's that? The capsaicin is what usually brings that, and there's like none in it. That's like
I think it's
the
just because it's
pepper
aged
side.
out.
I like the
could be,
flavor
yeah.
of the heat, but
And
I
I'm
don't
okay with that.
I don't want to feel the heat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's good.
Bring the heat.
It's my favorite beer we've had today. I would say for me, I think it's great. Yeah.
That's a
don't know,
tough
this-
one to answer. I like that
This
one.
Wizard's Burial Ground
That
was
was
pretty damn good.
It was. I'm not a big quad guy, but that's probably
I
the
like
best one.
beer,
That's
and
the
I think
best
they
quad.
all was good.
That's the best quad that I would say that
And if I had
in
a
a long
choice between
time.
the company with the big red cock or the bean flicker,
I mean,
I'm going for the cock. I mean,
I even like the tap water from the brewery.
no, hey, we got to hydrate at some point.
Oh no, that's the blue can with white lettering. That's not that one.
Remember,
we don't talk about
shall
that.
not
No, the
be
beer that
named.
shall not be
Yeah, it's we've talked shit every episode.
You know, whenever we make it big with this, there's gonna be like a massive lawsuit in like 10 years.
the beer that shall not be named.
Yeah, we never named. I mean, all right, we didn't like the first.
The very
episode.
first episode, maybe the first 2.
Yeah, yeah.
It tastes like the soul of an old dead lemon.
What?
I think it's a Saturday Night Live skit. You should watch it or something.
Oh, and then we're working on putting a commercial together for you to be in it. It's about finding a bottle of beer in the river.
I love it.
In a van.
There's a horrible
in a van
story.
down
to
by
that.
the
No, I was on the 4-wheeler and the river gifted me a blue can with white lettering, and it was old as shit.
My brother started
drink
putting
it?
it together.
Yeah,
Philip.
we were talking a little bit
Yeah.
about it. I'm in. Yeah, I brought it. I'll go for a little more. Sure.
Yeah, there's less little dregs here.
Yeah.
I would, but I don't drink.
I already had 2 pours, so
I brought it to the house. I washed it with dish soap, put it in the fridge, tried it at the fire that night. Pissed when I opened it and promptly dumped it because it was god awful. terrible.
No.
I have no idea how it was hot when I picked it up out of the river.
Oh boy.
And I found it in the Bell River, so that there was any metal left to hold it was
I don't know why we keep talking about it, but it's funny.
Oh, it's hilarious. I'm the dumbass that did it.
I'm not surprised.
Here's to you, dog food taster. You brave soul who starts your day not with a cup of joe, but with a hearty sampling of Fido's breakfast. While the rest of us are navigating the grind of TPS reports and conference calls, you're navigating the nuances of kibble, dissecting the symphony of flavors in each little nugget. Is that a hint of chicken or a subtle note of beef? You, sir, are the true connoisseur. So, when the going gets rough, remember this. You're tasting dog food, so our four-legged friends can dine like kings. You have the most unique palate in the world, and your work is important. When the day is done, kick back with a craft beer that rivals the complexity of your workday diet. Here's to you, dog food taster, because it takes real guts to do what you do, and damn it, you deserve a beer that's as robust and unflinching as you are. So grab that bottle, pop that cap, and remember that although your job might be shit, your beer never has to be. Here's to getting through the day, one bite and sip at a time. Cheers.
No, I mean, if
When
the
it's
river,
given to you by the river.
if the river gifts you a beer,
Exactly.
even if it's shit beer, you kind of have to honor
drink
it. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Random women handing out beers out of rivers are no system of government.
No, but I'd vote for that.
Now, if the beam flicker was coming down the river.
We did go canoeing back
On a
in the
raft?
day. We went to a booby beach.
Go on.
And there was a tall beach there. They would walk up a hill, and all the chicks would show their boobs.
That sounds
So it was
awful.
Booby Beach. It was
Yeah,
awful.
I couldn't go to that.
It was awful.
I'm married.
Y'all are married. I'm in. Let's go.
Well, this was before we got married, so it was good then.
I just want to say that
Nice
dads
save,
did
nice
not
save.
enjoy it.
If I go to that solo, I'm gonna be the creepy motherfucker that's hanging up on the hill.
Hey,
now.
listen,
I
you know,
Showing boobies?
I'm married. I'm
I mean-
not dead. You know, like I'm not going to deny that I've got these carnal instincts, like neuron activated. You know, like
I'm just not going to admit it.
Yeah. You just say, "Do you believe they showed their boobs?" That's just not right. While you're taking tons of pictures.
I have not learned this level of being with somebody.
No, I'd look at my wife with the side eye and be like, "Well, it's your turn.
Your turn.
Show me."
I feel we should stop
You don't have to show everybody. You
recording
just got to
pretty-
show me.
Just me. Like,
All right, well,
So thanks for joining us this week on High Gravity.
great having you guys back again, too.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for
fantastic.
coming
Thanks for
out.
having us, guys.
If you didn't learn anything today, at least remember this. Beer is the answer that makes everything better.
Can't remember the question, but who cares when you have a cold one in your hand?
Remember, everybody, drink responsibly, drink High Gravity.
Most importantly, drink well.
Okay, not the well. Life's too short for bad beer.
Stay frosty, my friends.